What was it like growing up in a segregated Birmingham, the epicenter of the civil rights, racism, all types of horrible, horrible things happening? What was it like growing up in Birmingham, and how did that experience affect your strong promotion of democracy the rest of your life?
Well, until 1963, the end of 1962, the beginning of 1963, when it became violent, because Birmingham became known as Bombingham, and bombs were going off all the time. But before that, I lived in a nice little middle-class neighborhood where we had our own ballet lessons and our own French lessons, and everybody believed in faith and family and education. And it was actually a great place to grow up. And it's a little neighborhood, by the way, that produced not just me, but the first black woman governor of the IMF during the Reagan administration, and the man who's today the president of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. The man who's just stepped down is the president of the University of Missouri, Kansas City. The head of the largest trauma center in the country in Los Angeles. The first National Merit Scholar in the whole state of Alabama came out of that little neighborhood. So it was, my father used to say it must have been something in the water. I think it was something in the messages. And the messages were, there are no victims, because when you think you're a victim, you've given control of your life to somebody else. You have to work twice as hard. That was said not as a matter for debate, that was said as a matter of fact. And so today I say to my students, I don't care what color you are, what gender you are, if you work twice as hard, you'll be confident, and that's a good thing. And they really gave us in this community the belief that we could somehow control, not be able to control the circumstances, but we could control our response to the circumstances. And education was the key to that. Now, it has made me more aware that in a democracy, particularly a democracy like our own, where we're not held together by ethnicity, nationality, religion, or blood, we come from every corner of the earth, our ancestors did, that in a democracy, if citizens don't believe that it doesn't matter where you came from, it matters where you're going, if they don't believe that you can come from humble circumstances and do great things, then there are whole parts of the citizenry that will never fully participate in the democracy and help to strengthen it and preserve it. And that has made me believe that one of the key elements of democracy for us today, one of the key threats to our democracy, is the lousy state of K-12 education for the poorest of our kids. They're not going to read by the time they're third grade. If you don't read by the time you're third grade, you're not going to read. They're not going to be able to enter the armed forces. Today, only 30% of the people who go into the who take the basic skills test can pass it. And they're going to be, we're going to be two societies, one capable and one not. And democracy cannot flourish when that's the circumstance.